meeting recently. Next slide, please. Okay, the UK is reacting and helping UK importers. I mean, I'm not going to talk about UK exports. I'm going to talk about imports, because most of us here are working with clients that are probably exporting to the UK. Now, if you're outside of the EU, many things will not change because it has been an independent export anyway, and you come against what has been up to now the EU rules when importing into the imports into the UK. That will not change too much because the UK will adopt many of those rules for the first part initially. However, if you're exporting from the EU into the UK, then there will be some changes. It will become a third country, no different to any other country outside the EU, under WTO trade guidelines. UK has decided to provide some level of help and apply a soft touch to importers in the UK, so that a new series of customs and border arrangements starting on the 1st of January will have a 3-phase introduction for goods imported from the EU. Not only to give them time to get all the systems in place and to build the infrastructure that's needed, but also to get the documentation and the customs people a chance to catch up. So whilst all the documentation will have to be in place, the importer in the UK does not have to actually pay any money or tariffs or VAT or anything for 6 months. They have a rolling program that they can defer a lot of the technicalities for 6 months during the transition period, or the UK transition period of taking over. So it will have 3 stages up until the 1st of July 2021, and it will give industry that time and to adapt, and it will also give the suppliers in the EU time to work with their customers in the UK to get it right. Next slide, please. So from 2021, traders importing standard goods will need to prepare for basic customs requirements, but will have up to 6 months to submit the custom declaration to UK Customs, HMRC. This is a huge benefit. It means that there'll be no hold-ups in the ports, or very few hold-ups in the ports, because there'll be a soft touch applied, and it means that the documentation will be able to be put in later on. The tariffs will need to be paid on all imports from day one, but the payments can be deferred while the customs declarations are being made. So that gives the traders time to get the new adjust to the new requirements. Safety and security declarations will not be required for 6 months for all goods. The biggest implication problem for the importer is that how they account for import VAT. And VAT will not be European VAT, of course, it will be UK VAT. And we can expect some changes in VAT forthcoming. The UK is hinting that they might even reduce VAT in some areas to help stimulate the economy after COVID. So we need to watch that one. But traders moving control goods like tobacco and chemicals, hazardous goods, will be required to follow a full customs declaration in line with the requirements moving into the UK from the rest of the world. Same with live animals and high-risk plants, etc., etc. They will have to be done right up front, but the documentary checks will be carried out remotely, etc. High-risk goods will be checked on arrival at their destination or other authorised premises, or it could be in a bonded warehouse. Next slide, please. Then we have stage 2, which is from April 2021, when meat and pet food, honey and milk, animal origin products will require pre-notification and the relevant health documentation. But it does give 3 months respite while people get it right from January to April. And then the third phase is July 21, when traders move to having full declarations and paying tariffs at the point of importation as they would from imports from any other country. So they're basically all checks will be done on entry. Again, the HMRC customers say that they will apply a soft touch. and will not be applying the rules harshly. Their end goal is to keep the movement of goods flowing freely, and we'll do lots of spot checks, and I'm sure there'll be lots of high-tech security in terms of x-raying and everything else, because they still have the issues of immigration to watch out, illegal immigration to watch out for. The EU, in return, has indicated that they will not be doing this for UK exports. However, things may change, so watch this space on that one, because I think a lot of EU customers will react very negatively talking to their own governments regarding that. Next slide, please. So if you're exporting to the UK market from the EU, number one requirement, as it is for UK importers, is to get your EORI number. It's not just Swedish companies I put on there, it's actually all countries within the EU. You need to classify your products very carefully and stay in touch with your governing authorities, providing rules and regulations in case anything changes. You need to declare your goods for export as if they're going to a third country, not to an EU country. Your freight forwarder, transport company, or your customs broker can actually help you with that as well. Next slide, please. You really need to think about the terms of which you're contracting. So it's probably worth talking to your customer to look at which Incoterms you're using, etc., and also other terms of your purchase order contracts, etc., to make sure that delays don't cause breaches of your contract or anything else. So it's very, very important that you have a look at this. Make sure your British importer and other service providers are prepared. So in other words, just keep a very close conversation going. Communication is the key here with your customers. Should be at all times, irrespective of where you're exporting to. But make sure you have everything, and make sure you have all the necessary alterations and certification. And make sure if you're using goods that allegedly come from the UK and then incorporating them in your own goods, make sure that your certificate of origins are correct, because if those goods are coming outside from outside the UK or via that, they no longer have EU preferential status. So watch your rules of origin very carefully on that one as well, because a lot of companies will get caught out until there is a trade deal. Next slide, please. I think the most important thing to note is that things can change overnight. The politicians are negotiating at the moment. The latest round of talks started this week. Anything can happen, so keep on top of the trade terms and the changes and try and be prepared. Talk to your local trade organisations and trade authorities, and keep in touch with your customs authorities. Talk to your customers in the UK. They know best in terms of importing the goods, and they should be up to date. Listen to various webinars from the various trade organisations, Institute of Export in the UK, or your own trade organisations in your own countries. But do export to the UK. Don't be put off by the press and their doom and gloom, because that's absolutely a waste of time. The UK is a big market and they're a very entrepreneurial market. Lots of opportunities there. And if in doubt, ask for help. And we're a group on here that there's enough expertise in our group on Sweden on the Go, but of course there are many other experts out there. So be prepared to ask. And if you don't know, then do ask. Next slide.